That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, bro, couldn't lie. He threw me off. That would have been good. That totally, nothing makes you laugh more than what's going on here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the point. I got AC. The AC. He's gonna go over his, I guess, his debate with Bobax. Or not Bobax.
Yeah, my debate with Bobax.
So, hey, don't knock Bobax. He beat Destiny in the debate.
No, the debate was
over
Aiden.
9K in a debate.
Yeah.
Aiden bunking some other dude that I have no idea who he is.
Oh, really?
One of their friends.
Aiden just debates for the sake of debating. He just likes to. His whole thing with politics and his whole thing with politics. I hate to say it because I do like Aiden, is about his ego, and it's not. I don't see him as somebody who believes in anything. I'm not saying he's apolitical, but believes in anything in particular. It seems to be an attention-getting device. It's almost like it reminds me that he's like when I was a kid, when I was really into something, and then when I was into it, I just would reference it all the time, and make like ridiculous connections to it, because I was immature. I was a kid. I'll give you an example. I was really into hockey for a long time, and I would constantly, when a serious issue came up, I would constantly try to tie how that represented Marc Messier's leadership ability. like that must have been really annoying. No one ever said anything to it, but when I think of some of the things I said when I was like 17 and 16, I'm like, what an idiot,
Yeah.
Amber Heard is mid. Who are you banging, fucking Huffman? If you could say that, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. I'll tell you that.
Would you kick her out of bed if she shat in it?
I wouldn't sleep in the bed. That's for sure. I think I'd be on the floor and the couch that night. Clean that shit up yourself. She sits on your pillow. Can you imagine this hot chick
just shit in the bed?
Squatting and just taking a giant dump on your pillow?
Throwing it back.
Oh my God, it's so loud. What's going on with the Neo Geo?
What's going on?
Mom, it's too loud. It's too loud, Mom.
I gotta be honest with you. This show's not gonna be really about Amber Heard. I don't really give a rat's ass one way or another. You can see her breast.
Fished in.
Yeah. I do have a alternative opinion, but it's just based on gut feeling, not on anything legal. I did a little more research with the Deaf Noodles thing.
Father's intuition.
This is
it.
That was I had to talk to my father about Deaf Noodles, so it is.
I forgot about
the legal stuff. So you're half right, but this is more, Dad. I don't think it's so funny to watch, like how the mainstream media is covering it versus the public. The public is squarely behind Johnny Depp. And the mainstream media is acting like Amber Heard never fucking admitted to physically abusing him, right? But I gotta be honest with you, although I felt a little better when I found out the trials in Virginia, right? I don't think we're gonna get the results. I just got a bad feeling for Johnny. Not that he's first of all, I don't believe Johnny for a minute. Usually relationships like that, in my experience, the slapping and the hitting goes on both ends. And it doesn't necessarily rise to the level of Jack Torrance in the Shining abuse, but it's usually both ways. The only difference is they don't have no evidence that it happened for Johnny. They have evidence that it happened for her. And I got to be honest with you, just the way our media is, just the way I watched the way they were with Trump, just the way I watched the way they handled, pulled that stunt with what was the guy, the crackhead first son, whatever, the way they were able to bury that story.
Hunter.
What it really comes down to is elites and regular people. And regular people are the Johnny Depp supporters, and the elites are Hollywood. They're also in our legal system.
Right.
So we saw him get screwed in England. What's to stop that from happening here? For the same reason that I just said, it's impossible to believe, although it shouldn't matter. It really should matter if she defamed him or not, but it's turned into a rape trial. It's impossible to believe that this wasn't both ends. Both those people are extremely fucked up people. What it should be is based on the evidence and not based on, what she claims happened. I don't even know why she's allowed to talk about any of this stuff when she's being accused of lying about him in the papers. And now we have all this new stuff. I don't believe her for a minute. I don't believe Johnny Depp raped her. I could totally believe he fucking slapped her around, Yeah. But there's no evidence of that, in fairness. None whatsoever. So I got to be honest with you. Is this a jury trial or a judge trial?
It's a jury trial.
Maybe he pulls it off. Something tells me, and I don't know why, and this is based on gut, that we're not going to get the result that we wanted. Let me give you an example. Or not we want, so to speak, or what I want. I don't care one way or another about these rich people. Yeah. I think it's let me give you an example. I was watching Andy Signore is just making mad bank lately covering these stories. He does a great job, but it's definitely one side and it's definitely biased. And he has a right to do it. I do it too. It's based on his perspective. He takes this part where I guess somebody who was testifying for Amber Heard, and he writes this tweet, and he writes this, this guy totally got crossed up and he's totally fucked and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to watch a video about a witness getting exposed as contradicting themselves or something like that. And all it is when I click it is 8 seconds of a guy going, that's not fucking evidence. And I've noticed this, I'm not sticking up for Stardust here. I've noticed that the Johnny Depp crowd is wacky, and how they believe the legal system works is just so alien from how actually things tend to work. Now, it's a jury trial. Maybe they were as charmed as Johnny as Twitter was, for Johnny. But it does seem to be almost like a left-right thing, or if you've ever had a bad relationship with a woman, if you're projecting, I know Johnny, I had a bitch wife just like Amber Heard. But, guys tend to get screwed in court and stuff like this. Just ask anybody who's been divorced before. And I think he's going to get screwed.
Yeah.
I don't think this goes the way you think. And I think you're going to hear a lot of people when the decision is made, it's not going to be quite what they thought. I'm not saying they're going to say 100%, but I just don't see them awarding, was it $10 million, $20 million to him from her? I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. It could be maybe they make a judgment for Johnny, but it's only $500,000. Nothing that ruins her. I could totally see that happening. And don't call in and give me the fucking the talking points of the case or this particular, because I didn't watch it. I'm just going by the way things when everybody's so fucking sure about something, it's so sure. They usually and when they don't know what they're talking about, and I'm admitting not knowing what I'm talking about. My experience, it just never goes the way you think. I think Johnny's more than likely deserves a victory. And I still think he's going to get fucked. I don't trust the legal system, all right? And the fact that the judge has turned this into a rape trial, I think speaks volumes about her. And it also could speak volumes about, how she's going to instruct the jury. We're almost talking about it like it's a criminal trial. It's not even a criminal trial. It's a civil suit.
Yeah.
You're not innocent or guilty. They just rule in your favor. They don't.
Well, the court of public opinion holding a separate trial. That's the thing.
And they don't know anything. The court of public opinion is run by retards. You know, I mean, like,
absolutely.
Like,
I mean, they're defending. They're going like, oh, why is everybody coming down on this super rich celebrity who's like universally known and well liked?
Yeah.
Man, the world's against these awesome like Hollywood like celebrities and shit. Like, dude, you realize that these people don't give a fuck about you. You're not helping. Your opinion doesn't fucking contribute anything to like whether or not, you know, we're sticking up for it. Because these people are held to a different standard. These people are fucking, they can get it. I mean, like, they can get away with a lot more shit than you or I could get away with in a million
I tend
years.
to believe him. But if he gets fucked, it doesn't change my life one iota. I don't think it doesn't have, it's not like it's like I was more invested in the Rittenhouse trial because that said a lot. Are you allowed to defend your fucking property and your life against rabid liberals? Well, the answer is yes. And if the answer is no, then that's a problem for me. That's the way I see it.
Right.
These two people are fucking insane, and who cares? And they're filthy rich. Fuck them.
Wait, you're telling me people from Hollywood are off the rails and they have like fucked up relationships?
Like,
what the fuck? No way! No, come on,
Harvey
dude.
Weinstein was a horrible person, but let's face it, both men and women tolerated that motherfucker and motherfuckers like him for generations. The casting call wasn't invented by Harvey Weinstein. It wasn't. I think they're lowlifes. Jim Carrey, I think, really summed it up best. Another lowlife, be honest with you. But it doesn't mean he's wrong. He said when the whole Chris Rock thing happened that it just, to him, it was just like, we're not the cool guys in the room anymore. And boy, I think that's true. Maybe not as much as he thinks it is, but it's definitely not as true as it was. These people are seen post-Weinstein, Chris Rock slap, I think a lot differently than they were seen prior, and which is one of the reasons I think we see so many attacks from legacy media on YouTube, Facebook, and things of that nature, because they want to be the gatekeepers. They don't want people starting fucking small talk shows and having influence. It drives them berserk. It drives them nuts. I noticed when they fired everybody at not that he doesn't deserve criticism, but when they fired everybody at Netflix, all the woke jackasses, those racist cunts, everybody like tried to turn it on Jeremy. It's like, well, Jeremy had nothing to do with it, but they think he did because the public opinion turned, and Jeremy's a small part of that. What?
Speaking of the trial, have you heard that the psychiatrists that were testifying for Amber Heard were getting review bombed, on the Google?
Yeah,
like 10 minutes after they testified.
What makes here's another whack, and you're not supposed to do this. Maybe the jury hears. I don't believe for a minute juries don't check the internet during trials. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. Nobody believes it. I remember. Can I say that? I knew somebody that was in a. Well, if I say the area, then they're all going to think it's Nick, but it wasn't Nick.
What?
If I say the area,
What?
all right.
Huh?
Yeah. But the area was it had nothing to do with Nick. Absolutely nothing. In fact, it's before.
Now
I
they
knew
know the
Nick.
area. So.
What? Yeah. Well, I was gonna. There was a murder trial that a friend of mine, not Nick DiOrio, got picked for jury duty for. Okay. It was a friend of mine, and they basically told me, he's like, yeah, we're all pretty much going to convict him. I was like, have you just got selected? You haven't heard the trial? No, the guy's guilty as hell. I read the paper, and I'm thinking to myself, this must be normal. I go, you realize you get kicked off the jury just if I snitched on you, right? If I snitched on you, if I and I think he was thrown off the jury, if I'm not mistaken. Nick wasn't the defendant. Nick wasn't, had nothing to do with it, but it was just a guy in Long Island. And I was
Neighbor.
I just figured, wow, like when the Rittenhouse trial, I thought he was fucked too, because they have to be watching the internet and the coverage is all negative unless you're online.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking know. It was Smaggle. He's in Rhode Island, dipshit.
He's like the Long Island guys. Like, what do you mean you fucking throw me off the jury? What do you mean? I've been here for 5 months.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think it went that far, but they're pretty much like he said that he met the other jurors and they already kind of decided.
Yeah, this fucking guy's gone.
You're not supposed to do that, I mean, I got to be honest with you. The guy was guilty as fuck, but I mean, there's just no chance. And I think he ended up getting convicted. But I would like to think, well, it's because I understand the system, that I would listen to the judge and for no other reason, just in fucking case, they got something wrong. I don't want to be responsible for sending somebody to prison the rest of their lives for something they didn't do.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks for snitching on those jurors for me. You couldn't got me off, Tommy. Currently doing 20 to life. Fuck you. I know what you did. But I think he did get tossed off the jury. I think he used work to get out of it or something like that. I forgot. So he wasn't. He wasn't actually. But I couldn't believe, you had to have been instructed already. So who knows what I guess going back to the Amber Heard thing, who knows what these jurors, what kind of content they take in. I think if this trial's in Hollywood, she gets off 100%.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to make a movie about this.
And another thing
like a Lifetime movie.
The People versus Amber Heard.
I mean, how much you want to bet
they
all
would.
the papers if she let's say the judge fucking throws the book at her. That's another thing. The judge is going to decide how much money it is. So maybe they fucking go, all 12 of them, and say, fuck this bitch, and he says $30,000.
Yeah.
I just, something tells me it's not going to be what you think. It's not going to be what you think.
So what would you rank Amber Heard 1 to 10?
Oh, 10. Fuck.
Now she's all right. Next day she sits in her bed. What do you rank?
Get out the fuck out of my house. Leave my cocaine, but don't touch my cum.
Look into your eyes while she's doing it. Like, just stares into your eyes as she's taking a dump on your
First thing I do is I round up all my cocaine, make sure she can't get it, and then I throw it out. all my valuables.
Don't worry. Once the cocaine is gone, she'll leave.
Well, that's another thing they're doing in Virginia. Well, it's kind of a blue state now, but they're doing it in Virginia. And Virginia, I used to know because I have relatives there. They don't really connect with people. They're like Johnny and Amber. They resent them. They're Southerners, I mean, so who knows? Who
I resent
knows
them. I resent them. Fuck them both.
Yeah, I think most sane average people should resent celebrities on some level, or just realize that they're basically just human puppets that are go on a stage and pretend to be something.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and they've been convinced
liars.
they're doing something important. I heard
professional liars. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, Robin Quivers said something interesting about them years ago, that they're all empty glasses. They're just completely empty people. They're the definition of an empty suit, and they take the form of whatever. The good ones fill that form, fill that glass. The glass gets filled for her. That's all they are. Otherwise, they're extremely empty people. They have no personalities. Their own.
They're formless, like water. They take the shape of whatever container you put them in.
Yeah, and what that does is it gives you an existential crisis. Like, what am I here for? Some people like me, I could do that and have no existential crisis. I'd be like, checkbook, but not everybody can look at my checkbook. Yeah, call me a clown. I don't care. I'm providing a service. The service is very much in demand. Thought lover 10 because I fucked Amber Turd. Okay. Sure.
But
Amber Turd, you mean?
Tommy, not only are they both rich, but they both have both their legs, so fuck them. That's my opinion.
Fuck their legs. So it's they you see somebody like Robert De Niro is a perfect example. He's a great actor and total idiot. With some of the shit that he says, he's a complete jackass. He's an anti-vaxxer. Well, I'm sure he's pro-vaxxer now because COVID, but prior to that, he's screaming about his retarded kids, and it couldn't be me. Look at Jenny McCarthy. How with somebody who just had a perfectly created pussy give birth to retarded kids. Oh, it must be vaccines. And De Niro, you go search YouTube. De Niro goes on about that shit too. Jim Carrey. I guess maybe he got sandbagged.
Someone with a perfect pussy.
Yeah, my pussy is so perfect.
Fucking retard.
Anatomically.
You talking to me? I have autism.
It must be something
listen,
else.
Listen, you fuckheads. You screwheads.
You screwheads.
I don't like people looking in my
Here
eyes.
is a man who fucked Jenny McCarthy's pussy and had a retarded child.
And he would not take it.
Here is a man who, listen, you screwheads.
You're gonna deny her right to not get the needle sticking in her arm?
Yeah. You even repeated it like they did in the movie.
Yeah, like he did in the movie. Yeah, I fucking loved it.
Yeah, oh, that's
I
great
love
movie.
those movies, dude.
I actually, I'm kind of up on movies lately. Do you know who's Christine Chubbuck was?
Christine Chubbuck.
Does that ring a bell to you? Does that ring a bell to you?
No.
Yes.
Christine
yes,
Chubbuck is the first person to kill themselves on live television. And they made a movie about it. I'd read about her. I was like searching the web for like Bud to Wire videos like in 1998, 99. And I came across Christine Chubbuck, and somebody wrote a really like a multi-page thing on her life. And she's very much a tragic figure. And they made a movie called Christine 2016, which I saw last night. And they really did a great job. It's a movie about, real mental illness and how it affects people and how it affects this particular person. And it's not preachy. It's not over the top. It's not, I saw a lot of critics saying it really shows you what it was like to be a woman in the early 70s. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. In fact, it very much was fair to the 70s and men and other things. It was just a woman who would probably be considered autistic now. They just had so much difficulty relating to people, and you almost have to have a certain amount of empathy for her. It's a very compassionate film, and the reason I bring this up is I am so sick of fucking superhero movies. It was such a relief to see a film for adults in 2022 because everything is woke or it's trash. Or nothing is like Taxi Driver. Nothing, and Christine is.
That's why shit like Uncut Gems too took off. I think because
it's not even that good.
Filled that niche that people were just neglecting and filling it with. They're trying to.
And I'll try to watch it again. I don't think it was that good. It seems like it's almost a caricature of good movies. And I was like that with Joker at first because my issue with Joker is it's a great film, don't get me wrong, but it takes all those good movies and tries to sort of like Stranger Things does with the 80s and just like squishes them in and says, look, we're making like that type of movie. Why can't you make a new movie that connects with people like that? Why does it have to be like in the 70s or sort of resemble Taxi Driver? Why do you have to take a TV show, and I like Stranger Things too, and have it so there's so many references to 80s movies, The Goonies, and Steven Spielberg. How come nothing original can come?
There's this guy, Paul Scalise, who's like a writer, and he wrote an article and he like collected and curated a bunch of this shit and just pointed out how it's just we have the stuck culture. Like everything has been in a loop for like the past at least 15, maybe even like 20 years.
I agree because like they used to bitch about movies. Oh, I don't make movies like did in the 60s. They don't make movies like did in the 50s. All right, like and there was a lot of good movies that came out in the 80s.
Yeah,
even in the 90s. But something about 2000, it just fucking stops. Like, but at least in the 2000s, there was one. There was. Have you noticed they don't make
still
comedy?
Original stuff? But you know what they're doing, Tommy? They're making a reboot of that. They're making a remake of that. They're making a spin-off of that. They can't deal with like not having that as a crutch to stand on.
There's no original ideas.
There's nothing. Well, first of all, I think because the woke types, they make it almost impossible to make a original idea. Amazon is talking about not putting out movies unless it reaches social racial quotas. So you have all these these outside political factors that keeps a movie like Taxi Driver even being made, unless you go through Netflix now, I guess, because they were starting to get woke as fuck. Woke, one of the things is woke is restrictive on creativity, and like most commie countries. I always like to point out, the YOLO guy, big meme in the last 10 years.
What? Trololol?
Yo, Trololol guy. Here's the thing. That guy, the reason he was on Soviet television is because by going Trololol, there's no way you're going to offend the state. It's just, he had a really great voice. I'm sure he was capable of doing a lot of other things, but that's the only thing you get out of him.
Yeah.
It's to me, he is the perfect representation. Nothing against the man personally. I think he's just was born in the wrong time of creativity being stifled by left-wing lunatics. He embodies that perfectly. So I don't believe for a minute that people have just got, we're not creative anymore. I think there's so many factors in Hollywood, so many creative factors, and the type of people that are attracted to making these films are just involved in a religion. You ever notice how like movies like from the 40s and 50s can't stop sticking Jesus in there all the time? Well, that was the culture of the day, and that was the repressive culture. And as they loosened up on that, you started seeing better movies. Now the pendulum has just swung the other way, and instead of not doing something because it might offend Christians, we're not doing something because it might offend the values of some Hollywood fucking mogul. What's the difference?
Or it just covers a sensitive topic. Like if you wanted to talk about anything gritty or real, people would be like, no, we can't talk about like if somebody gets like a shooting or something like that, anything relevant to people, or like a terrorist attack or this or that. It's like, no, that's too sensitive. We can't talk about like right-wing extremism or left-wing extremism because, if you talk about right-wing extremism, you're glorifying that. If you talk about left-wing extremism, you're counter-signaling the fact that right-wing extremism is so bad.
Hold on a second. First is saying they're lyrics, the Trololol song.
To the Trololol song?
I don't buy that.
Is he?
How could they possibly be lyrics? It's the same thing over and over again. Now, is he? If like I want get in here. I want to know. Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
First, get your ass in here.
I don't want to use that as a metaphor anymore. But I don't think that's the case. Are they?
No.
Well, let's look. Let's look that.
Yeah.
No, it can't be true. That can't be true. Well, because I watched Wavy's video, that wasn't brought up, and to me, it was just like an exhibition on how good the guy's voice was. At least that's the way they said. Lyrics were removed. The lyrics were removed. Oh, so they're not.
So he did a cover. It was a cover of another song.
A cover. So he just did the
lyrics.
So he just like scat. Like what do they call that? Scat, the jazz style scatting.
Yeah, sort of like scat. Yeah.
Well, why couldn't he do the lyrics? That's an interesting question.
Well, then that proves your metaphor.
They kind of bring blues. If that's true, if the lyrics, well, it depends on why they were removed. It depends on why they were. Then it proves my point perfectly.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I don't think the original lyrics are like having lots of sex and fucking hot girls having lots of sex.
Well, it could be about the joy. It could be about. It could be a joke. It could be something that the state finds offensive. And we know things about leftists. They find offense in seemingly unoffensive areas. I mean, God, look at Chicago right now. They're talking about like neighborhoods or bridges were built racist. So I mean, that we've seen this type of insanity before. It's kind of reemerging. We've seen it in the Soviet Union. So I would love to know what the lyrics were.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, like what? Why was it? So he's really.
It's sort of like it boils into like a sort of a critical theory type of thing where it's like, oh well, guilt by association, because if this person was like white or if this person like did something that we don't like politically or whatever, then this song or whatever is tainted. Or if the song goes over this, then that's part of capitalism, or that's a part of.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being the case. We can't do that because somebody made the slippery slope fallacy to capitalism. So just shows you can sing. Show everybody that Soviet culture isn't restrictive. You have a good voice.
Yeah.
So the song originally had lyrics. It was written for. With lyrics about basically a guy on a Mustang is riding across a prairie to his love, who's waiting for him and knitting him a woolen sock.
Okay.
So that was like the idea of the song.
Who wrote the song? Who wrote the original song? Was it a Westerner?
It was. I don't know. The song's backstory is strange. It was written for Kill with lyrics. I don't know.
Is it a Westerner? Maybe is it an English song?
Is it a Mustang like a car? Or
no, it's a car. It's a horse.
I think a horse. Yeah.
A horse. Okay, that's what I was going to say. It's like a
horse.
Well,
what do they call those? What
were
the Russians that fought back against the Soviet Union? They were all on horses. Ride of the there's a not Coptic.
Cossacks.
The Cossacks. Was it something about the Cossacks? And maybe not because they slaughtered them all. The Soviets slaughtered them all, and they were very capitalistic in nature and resisted Marxism, and they were all slaughtered. Cossacks, yeah, the Cossacks, and they're famous for their fighting ability on horses.
It'd be interesting why the song was written by Arkady Ostrovsky.
Okay, so it's probably a Russian or Pole.
They're not really giving me a reason why the lyrics were taken away.
I wonder. That'd be interesting to find out.
Thanks, Matt.
You're never going to believe this, but Ford uses actual Mustangs in their logo for a car. Yeah. Well, is that Yeah, I believe it. By the way, my mom has 68 Mustang. Would they not? It was our work. Well, I mean, who knows? I have trouble believing too many Russians knew what a fucking Mustang car was back then.
Yeah.
That would have been. So, well, my mother-in-law said that they they had Western German radio, and the Soviets couldn't keep that from coming in. They knew things are different over here on the western side of.
They had some.
They
stuff.
knew. They had some idea what was going on.
Some is that is all the different type of literature or audio or whatever that they smuggled in, either through tapes or one thing they used to do, which is interesting with they used to have so they couldn't afford records and vinyls to print certain cut music on, right? Like jazz, Western music and everything.
Yeah.
So what they would do is they would take actual old X-rays. You know how the X-ray comes on a sheet of paper or whatever? That's a special type of thing to show you, your bones and everything inside you. They would use that, and then that would be able to play a few times, albeit really shitty quality. And that's how they would smuggle in jazz, and they called it music on bones. They would smuggle in jazz or Western, people explaining different philosophies and all this other shit.
Yeah. And so the guy doesn't remember the lyrics. Basically, he doesn't. They never recorded the lyrics. The lyrics were about a cowboy, but this Redditor, I can quote a Redditor by saying,
"No."
That they thought that Russia thought the song was too westernized, like cowboys and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I could see that, but that's not a really good source. Redditor.
That's what
it's again a Redditor.
But in fairness to the Redditor, it's completely believable. You got to know that show was controlled by the state. I mean, I think we could all fucking get around that. And it's completely believable, but who the fuck knows? There's no way to prove it one way or another.
My source is that I was overhearing a podcast with Justin Roiland and the other guy from Rick and Morty. And
it could be
they made a joke about it, and then that's how they
would
explained
surprise me. They said you can't sing the lyrics, do your best with it, and go. I could see that happening. And the metaphor stands. How about that?
Either way, it's
fuck you first.
A lot of limitation. But
the songs had lyrics, but they were never written. So,
yeah.
All right. Switching gears. So what happened with you and Aiden? You want to give us a play? Oh, before I go to that. I saw, was it Hannah? She posted a bunch of what the hell is her
Hannah
name?
Animal?
Yeah. This gets into, before we get into your thing.
Are we talking about
AP over 9K, right?
No, wait. Are you talking about Deaf Noodles or AP over 9K?
Well,
yeah. Well, I guess she posted a thing with Deaf Noodles saying, let's cover this part. Let's do this Deaf Noodles part before we go this.
Oh,
so she covered this. I thought this is interesting earlier.
He's literally publishing false allegations and thinking that he's delivering justice for someone. How the fuck is he getting away with this? Why the fuck is he getting away with this? And any creator who's allowing him to get away with this will be a permanent stain on your...
No, it won't. I think it was funny.
Career. You are literally on the wrong side of history, and you're
he must be like an avid news watcher and like watch like MSNBC and believe all the bullshit because he speaks.
Phrase is
the phrasing is somebody who watches too much cable news. You know,
reputation will pay dearly.
In May 2021, everyone knows this is a joke that I'm mocking him.
Now, this is just so incredibly easy to debunk, folks. All you have to do is go to Keemstar's tweet, and you will see that the vast majority of the replies and the quote retweets are people believing Keemstar's tweet and thinking that it is actually real. And by the way, it should.
Or they're trolling and playing along with the joke, the obvious joke. Yeah.
Be noted that Keemstar presented this the same way that he presents any other piece of news on his fucking
That's true.
Twitter. There's no distinction. Nowhere does it say that this is a joke, that it's a parody, that it's satire. In fact, he uses hashtags.
See, the thing that's so infuriating is he makes a good point, but the problem with it is you've done this on ironic. Like I knew because the only way you can know is you're in the community. I knew what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
But in fairness to him, a foreign eye might not see it the way I do, and I'm deeply ingrained in this community. So he's right. But we're talking about a guy that has made deceptive headlines himself and serious issues like this. He has no critical thoughts about the information that he puts out. It's just like the hypocrisy is just unbelievable. But again, I'll say this before, I don't think his hypocrisy is going to come into question. New stream idea, fantasy retards select your team of online personalities to stick it in RP in the stream. It's not a bad idea.
Bro. God. Wings of Redemption,
Andy Dick,
Only Use Me Blade, DSP,
and the guy that molested those or said naked pictures sent to him with the singer. I want him to put him out of jail and put him in my
Wait, you want that? What?
Who's the kid that Austin?
Austin Mc.
Yeah,
I almost said Austin.
I went Austin
Jones.
Austin Jones. Yeah.
Davi Vanity, Onision.
Yeah. Oh God, that's even better. Davi Vanity, Onision, Austin Jones, and Deaf Noodles.
When Punk have you heard of When Punk Goes Crunk? This is When Punk Goes Pedo.
Punk Goes Crunk. All right.
On this tweet. Now, is Keemstar leading us to believe that every time he uses hashtag drama alert on any of his fucking tweets, all of the stories are just jokes? Because let's look at some of those stories. Here, this Taylor Holder cease and desist. Is this a fucking joke, Keemstar? How about this story about Pokimane returning to Twitch? Is this a fucking joke, Keemstar? How about this tweet about Jake Paul making a diss track on Dana White? Is this a fucking joke, Keemstar? How the fuck are we supposed to know that it's a fucking joke? Seriously, explain it. I'm waiting. As well as everybody else who's watching you do this, because trust me, a lot of people are watching you do this.
It's just it's so funny that he could be this upset, you know.
Yeah.
And he would have no problem doing it to somebody else. None, zero.
And
by the way, if you think I'm fucking wrong, and you probably don't, because if you're here, you hate Deaf Noodles. Watch Nick's video on him. You know.
This anyway. Let's see what else you got to say.
Those old Airhead commercials where the kids would like eat some of the candy, right, and then their head would turn into a big red fucking balloon. Because like this is what I'm seeing from that.
Yeah.
Tweet, folks.
But now he's taking it completely out of context, acting like it's a serious allegation.
So you're telling me, Keemstar, that making a P-word allegation against someone isn't serious to you? It's just a joke. You're telling me that recently, when you made those allegations against Danny Duncan, that was just a joke to you. You're telling me that now that you're going on everybody's
you should shut up if you're going to court
channel and saying that Taylor Holder allegations, all that stuff, it's a joke to you. Is that what you're saying? That allegations
joke to you? You don't do anything about. Well, he slandered fucking. He slandered. He's calling fucking John Swan all right. That's extremely damaging.
Yeah.
And he just pulled it out of a hat. And he justified it because there's some insane definition out there that alt-right means you're against mainstream media. That makes you alt-right? Jesus Christ.
Are jokes to you. Please clarify. Everybody.
That means every one of you who gets alternative media is alt-right.
He's waiting, Keemstar. We want to hear from you. We want to know.
We'll hear from you in court. You're gonna hear from him in court.
Just why you're a lying fucking scumbag. Anyway, folks, I've invited Keemstar numerous times on my channel to discuss the situation. That is, in fact,
when was this video made? Is this
last year? Like
last
right
year?
When
yeah, but that
right when Keemstar made the tweet.
That tweet said 2022 on it when he. Yeah, no, this said February. This was probably in February then. This Def Noodles claiming he doesn't have the money to sue Keemstar. Well, this is what
after he published that tweet, I did talk to a lawyer, and the lawyer told me it was basically going to be 4 years of my life, and it was going to be about $400,000 to $500,000 in order to sue him here in California. And I don't have that money, folks. Now, I'm not going to ask you to pay for this lawsuit. My idea is, since I've been having a lot of conversations with different creators behind the scenes who, since they saw what happened to me, they've been approaching me. They've been telling me their stories with Keemstar. I've had like maybe over 20 people who shared the stories of how Keemstar personally defamed them and tried to destroy their careers. What I want to do is I want to start a class action lawsuit against Keemstar. And I'm very serious.
Class action lawsuit. It's got to be like...
Now, first off, it wasn't a class action. We saw the lawsuit.
No, it wasn't. It couldn't be a class action.
But he did say he was going to talk to other creaters who were.
I don't think you can make a class action lawsuit. I could be wrong about this against a fucking individual. It's got to be against the company. Because I won money. I got sent a letter. I forget, a couple years when I was in Germany, like that you won in a class action lawsuit, and I checked it out. It was like 50 cents or like $1 or $1.50 or something. I don't even know what it was for.
This. I've had people tell me that they lost anywhere.
Do you think he tabs Ethan Klein?
Yes, 100%. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Fuck it, I'll help.
That's what I'm getting at. And here's another thing.
This like the timing on this is too. Yeah, it's just fucking inexplicable.
That's what I'm getting at. And not only that, see, here's the thing. And he's right about the the $400,000 or $500,000, $500,000. He doesn't have that. I'm sure he doesn't make that kind of money. I'm sure he makes good money, but not that kind of money. That is money that Ethan has to throw around. But something tells me, and I admit this is all about my theory about the whole thing. So this does play in. I am looking at through my perspective. I don't think, and especially since it's like a year later, I don't think that Ethan would have invested in this, and it is an investment, unless people told him he could win. Yeah. I think Keem's got, I stand by it. I think Keem's got a little bit of a problem. I don't think this is going to go smooth. I think more than likely he's going to settle for a certain amount of money, probably nowhere near as much as for what he's asking for. But what Def Noodles gets, which it seems like what he really wants, it's not the money, is he wants to be able to discredit Keemstar in the future, pretty much because of what you said. Like, well, that guy's a convicted defamer. That's what he wants.
Calls me
that's what he wants.
Noodles,
and if he settles, that's what he gets.
Right.
That's what he gets. And I got to be honest with you. I know Keem went on an Augie show, and he says that's not the case. And I am rooting for Keem. I think the guy's a piece of shit. But I don't look at things like that. I'm not a big Johnny Depp or Amber Heard fan.
You want this Keemstar cock.
Yeah, that's it. I look at it like the way I think things are going to actually go, and I got a pretty good fucking record on this shit. Usually when things, and a lot of the predictions I make, they take a year or two to come to fruition, and some of you people that follow the show know that. So, look, I'm not rooting against Keem. I think the guy's a complete hypocrite, complete piece of crap. Keem isn't guilty of anything that he hasn't done. I'm just looking at it in the way, and I don't even care that Keem did what he did. I'm not even offended by it, considering what Def Noodles has done in the past. It's just from a moral perspective, it's like turnabout is fair play. But that's not gonna fucking wash in court. I heard somebody else said they're gonna bring up all the times that he's done it. I don't think that. I mean, if they bring up all the other times that he did it, it's only going to be to show that the tweet itself was satirical, and they're satirizing him. It's not. That's how they're going to defend themselves. There's no "you did it too" in a defamation lawsuit. Although, the problem I could be wrong because this Amber Heard thing's a complete fucking circus. So go ahead.
People put their faith in fucking Keemstar, but they don't understand that's not what you have to have faith in. You have to have faith in the legal system, and we all know how that goes, and that's the fucking issue. Like again and again and again, we can talk about how Def is a fucking idiot, and what Def's saying is obviously bullshit, and it's hypocritical, and he's exposed himself. And Keemstar has been fucking very forthcoming about how this is a joke, and he told everybody that it's obviously a joke, and.
I know it's a joke. I'm telling you, I thought I knew it was a joke. Absolutely knew it was a joke.
Yeah.
I'll even go as far. I'd probably done the same joke. I just don't have a lot of money, and nobody had the money to sue me. With Keem, that's a little different. He's got a bigger bullseye on his back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
and
all
people
I'm
are
saying.
like, well, afterwards he could, sue Def back. And I'm like, sure, maybe he could. Maybe he could like do that for, and also say, look, this guy also spread defamatory statements and blah, blah, blah. But that's not what's happening right fucking now.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're like worrying about right now.
Yeah.
That's a what if, right, in the future. And we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen here. But I think it's absurd to just kind of like instantly be like, oh yeah, Keem's got this in the bag. Like,
I think it's totally absurd. I do think that's totally absurd.
This shit just happened. This shit just dropped like a couple days ago. Like
what are you talking about? Well, everybody's so used to the so-called lol suit.
You know what it is?
And Def is a fucking lol. And Def is a lol cow. They don't think about the legal system. They say, well, this is just going to be like that jackass with the tattoo shop. That guy was a complete fucking idiot. On top of being a fucking, half a kitty fiddler. Whatever the fuck he was, I mean that guy admitted to kitty fiddling practically when he went to defend himself, in the lull suit. I don't know if this, and now it's pretty clear, although not proven, that this is being backed by someone, and we all know that Ethan would he is just as obsessed, if not more, than the Def Noodles. Now we got real money in the situation. And I just don't see Ethan. I don't put him on that hand. I especially don't see his wife doing it unless they can get something out of it. And not only mention, as his trial progresses, it's fodder because he's only fun in the fucking thing. It's fodder for his show. And nothing's more important to Ethan in the world than fucking Keemstar. So this is the way I'm looking at it. I'm trying to take a nuanced approach. I'm actually pretty grateful Keem didn't turn this into... although he could, I suppose, that he didn't turn this into I'm turning on him or I'm being a backstabber and all that other fucking horseshit. I'm really not.
What do you think about the argument that like, oh, there's proof of damages and like statute of limitations type stuff?
If statute of limitations, it's only a fucking year and a half. Statute of limitations, I don't know. Maybe if statute of limitations exceed, then it's if the statute of limitations has already passed for something like this, well then it's open and shut. Then Keem's gonna walk. It's a done deal. I just don't see somebody putting $500,000 into it and not, I don't know, take that into consideration.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, people are stupid and fucking we know Ethan's not that bright or not that worldly, that he kind of leans on people that, I know a lot of people that do this. They listen to people that sound right. And it's usually people they just like for whatever reason. It's one of the most frustrating things to talk to somebody who thinks like that. Perhaps some of you know people like that. It's like you can't rationale. It's like they'll come to you and they'll say something to the effect of, well, I know him, I don't know you. Even though you're making a really concise argument, it's just like, well, in the hierarchy of trust, you're not there.
Yeah.
Well, what about the argument I'm making? Well, I don't understand your argument. I don't understand the argument the fucking person I like is making, but I like them more than you. I mean, it's really infuriating to have an intelligent conversation with somebody like that. It's almost like arguing against, I don't know, the court of public opinion.
Yeah. Also, to be fair, what we have to go off of is what we saw from
Def. We're only getting his side.
Yeah, what Def had, and then Def's videos,
and let me tell you something.
Keem's response, and that's just his response.
I know the YouTube lawyers are going to get a hold of this stuff eventually. I have no problem going on and saying, boy, I didn't see that. I didn't know that. I'm not a lawyer. And now this looks a lot better for Keem. Go get him, champ. Take his goddamn... what do they call it? Play button, sure. I have no problem saying that. Like, I only go by what I know, and I didn't know it here. Obviously, I was dead fucking wrong. Now, I'm putting a little more in this than I am in the Johnny Depp thing, because I can't be bothered with those two fucking rich assholes. I cannot be bothered.
Yeah. Well, everybody wants like instant gratification on this stuff because we're like inundated with a million things per day. So like people want to be able to call it from the first day and then forget about it, right? And not do any research. And this is just like court stuff in general, right?
Well, you're allowed to speculate, in fairness. I mean, I don't
no, you're allowed to speculate, but I mean, I feel like a lot of people want to just like not even address it. Be like, oh, it's open and show. Oh, it's Keem W.
Yeah,
like, like what? So. I mean. we don't fucking know. Like, things don't happen like that, like in a fucking cartoon. It's not like we have a 30-minute time limit for a beginning, middle, and end to this whole saga. I know people are used to that. I know people have fucking been,
they've been tripped by Law and Order. Law and Order's ruined everything, and especially in legal terms. You have the cop, the investigation, and a conviction by the end of the show.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
that's and everybody thinks that being on a jury. I've heard multiple lawyers, criminal lawyers, tell me that Law and Order has screwed up the justice system. Not their fault, so to speak, but people think it works like it does on TV, and it's only done that way on TV for expedience. For expedience reasons, and people just think it's like the same thing. Yeah, they don't. It just doesn't work.
I mean, this will probably take longer than we expect. Just like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp shit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happened in 2015, 2016. But now if he has backers, if you remember, Hulk Hogan took down all of Gawker through funding from what's his name, Thiel or the guy who started PayPal with Elon.
Rich guy.
Yeah, the guy who started PayPal with Elon.
Yeah,
I mean that did mega damage. Although I can't see Keem getting hurt in that way, just because I mean, what did they do? They stole video from Hogan's house or something, right? And then played it, or it was stolen.
Bubba the Love Sponge secretly recorded him having sex with his own wife, and then brought it. I guess he released it.
Why did Bubba release it? What was it? Like revenge? Because he said the N-word?
I don't think anyone knows to this day why he actually did it.
Yeah. What did like? I really wish I looked at that case closer. What was Hogan a victim of? What crime did Gawker commit?
Well, they knowingly released a private video.
Is that illegal?
I think it could be like defamation, right? Like,
how would defamation if you said it? I mean, he said the N-word. That's not defamation.
Well, that wasn't the issue. The sex. It wasn't the N-word.
I would love it. I'd love to have somebody explain that situation to me.
It's revenge porn. It's basically.
Yeah, but what did Hogan? It'd be interesting to look into that case. Especially. All right, let's go to AC. I'm kind of dying to hear this story. So, what happened with you and Aiden? Aiden just, I don't
know. Okay, let me try to give this to you in like the most concise way possible. Right, this is the thing. I joined a VC in Bunk server with like Aiden and Bunk and Prag and like other like Spurgs, right?
Okay.
And I was joining in. Aiden like made up this story about like how he like went to see a priest. It was he admitted it was a lie. And he like was trying to do that to goad me into like debating Prag on something like transgenders and homosexuality and Christianity or whatever.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of even like saying my opinion on it and trying to like talk about it.
What was your opinion?
I told them I didn't want to debate.
What was the subject of the opinion? Just give me a pull back. What was the initial? What did he lie about? Like he saw a priest? That's Catholic.
Yeah.
You're not even Catholic. You're not.
Well, Catholic. He lied. Yeah. I'm saying he made that up. He admitted he made that up, right? To like goad, to like sort of segue
when he said he saw a priest, like what happened between him and the priest?
I don't know. He just like literally said he went to go like talk to a priest and like discuss some things about.
They would tell you to go to hell.
But it's whatever. That's like a small thing. That's how it got roped up. That's how I got roped into like this talking about this. I didn't want to have a debate. And this like debate or whatever, this discussion, I guess, really spiraled out of control because then it wasn't about me and Prag, it was me and Aiden, and then it wasn't about me and Aiden, it was about me and Bunk, and then it was about me and Bunk, it was about me and another fucking guy in the call, and this and that, and I'm like constantly having to like address all this different stuff and all these different people talking to me, and I don't have like Bible verses like off the top of my head, I don't have them like on hand. I'm just like talking about these things casually, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you have to defend everything else," and then,
you have to defend the whole Bible.
It's a long fucking thing that goes on for like 2 hours.
See, Christianity isn't real. You're owned.
At the end of it, I get exhausted, and I say like, "Okay, whatever." I like basically, I'm like, I don't care anymore. I don't want to like talk about this anymore. And then they're like talking about like, okay, so you can't prove that like they said you can't prove that the Bible is like against homosexuality. So what can you be against it for from a secular standpoint? And I'm like, and I didn't give a fuck at that point. All right, we're 2 hours in, right? I didn't go into this VC for any sort of.
Hey, wait a minute. I can answer that question. You could personally find it unappealing.
No. I just said, I don't know, because these gay guys are fucking each other in the ass, spreading AIDS or something.
They had to know that was a fucking.
And then they're like, what? You know, this like typical,
yeah.
like,
Look,
what?
it's outrage.
Through like
They're
blood
forming
and like
outrage.
gay people and like heterosexual people can spread AIDS too. And I'm like, oh, really? No, what? I'm like, oh, is that so? And they're like, wait, you didn't know? And it's like a chorus of people like trying to like razz me on that. People. It's just like, man, I can't make a joke. I can't like be sarcastic at that point. I'm owned. I'm so owned. And you know, after that, I think like the conversation like veered to like other things. We were talking about like the Buffalo shooter or whatever.
It's like they're trying to. You know, it's so funny. They're trying to like justify their own religion, much like a Christian would, like a wacko Christian would, by using you.
Of that,
you know? Yeah.
I didn't like. I left like the VC because I was making a video and I was trying to make the video the whole time, but then I got like sidetracked by them for 2 hours. That's why you don't like. I guess you don't go into like a VC full of people who are like debate bros when you're trying to get shit done. And I made the video and everything was like calm for then. Then I learned that like apparently they were like spurging out on Twitter being like, AC just got totally owned in a debate about Christianity and he didn't even know what AIDS was. He thought AIDS couldn't be transmitted through like blood transfusions and this and that.
How did they get that out of your fucking obviously over the top statement? Yeah, like
well because they don't like me and they wanted to dunk on me.
I gotta be honest with you. Is that the definition of bad faith or what? Is that like you know, like I'm gonna debate like, yeah, I could kill that guy. Tommy wanted to murder someone. Like that's bad faith. You know, I mean,
what surprises me is that like that was like the one thing that they like zoned in on. They had like a million
nothing else
to talk about with like the discussion and everything.
Yeah.
But like that was like the thing. You know what it is? It's like when a tabloid like fucking article like comes out and you know they give you like the headline thing and nobody reads past the headline.
Well, it's somebody in the chat, Cloud of Sand, saying you're misleading me on what you said. I guess I'm
misleading what I said.
Yeah.
Well, you're free to call in and like discuss that.
That's what I was thinking. You're probably not. You know?
Yeah.
Well, look, I know you're not. You don't hate homosexuals, but you're definitely not pro homosexuality. I mean, there's like
I'm like pretty sure my religion's against it.
Yeah, your religion's against it. I mean, I could accept that. It's not like you're not sitting there saying like I want to burn all gays or something or execute. Like that's kind of unchristian of you. To be honest with you.
Yeah, regardless of whether or not I can like pull a Bible verse to support all these things, this is traditionally like what we've believed and. I mean, if you asked a priest this,
you would the Catholic priest will tell you that.
The same answer. It doesn't even matter. Like whether or not I say it and I have like a verse to back. You can, and I mean, hey, all these people they're free. This is the thing. I'm not.
Creed says he wants to call in. He wants to see what happens. Sorry,
I'm not like an authority of like this and that about everything about doctrine and every verse that backs up everything.
Yeah.
Like. You can, if these guys want, and I'm suggesting they can go like debate a priest, like they can go to their local church and like go like start asking the priest questions.
It's a bad faith. It's a bad faith.
Like back that up.
Like they have nobody to debate. Like it's a bad faith debate to begin with because it's all about like Christian. Here it is. You said this. Christianity's evil. Well, let's say that's true. Like, let's say you said, let's say you meant that literally. All right, let's pretend you like because they all AIDS each other or whatever. You know, let's say that would just mean you're fucked up. It doesn't mean the whole fucking religion's fucked up. And I'm the atheist here.
Absolutely.
You know,
right,
I mean, it would just be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like everybody in there, I would argue, is pretty hostile towards Christianity to begin with from the outset. Maybe
because
with
his
the
hostile
exception of
is.
Prag
I like to
believes
add
in
Bunk in here because the left is as hostile towards Christians as some Christians are hostile towards homosexuals. So they're basically just committed. They're in the same area of hate. You know, the ridiculous hate. You know, and
Prag's like the only one I could say maybe is sympathetic towards Christianity, but it's even in their own sort of strain that they've cooked up, which they describe as progressive Christianity. That always works out well.
One of the guys you were debating sounded like one of the types that are like atheists, like, I read the Bible cover to cover so I can debate Christians all the time.
Yeah.
Well, considering the Bible is subjective among theologians, I mean that's a ridiculous fucking statement. I mean, you could have two different theologians interpret something completely differently. Why am I the atheist? I am actually a legitimate atheist, like to the bone, right? And like the reason I got out of religion. It's always interesting to me, like that some of my friends became these hardened liberals, and they did all the same shit that fucking got me out of the religion, except from the religion of the right. They're preaching their shit from the left. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I mean the thing, the one person like got on me for like I guess not knowing what the 5 sola were off the top. I only know of like I've only heard of sola scriptura, and that's because like Protestants and stuff. And then he was trying to tell me sola scriptura was an Orthodox thing, or like no, we basically believe in the same thing. We just don't call it sola scriptura. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's correct at all.
It's out of my I couldn't argue that.
Like it's just like a and then it's like yeah, he's very adamant about that. And then there, anyways, this is like the background. This is the background to like what happened the other day. So like, you know, they're like shitting on me, and like some people were calling me a Christian grifter. I must have the worst grift imaginable. Yeah. Some people were calling me a Christian grifter, and I have to say, you know, doesn't a grifter usually like make money off of his grift? Isn't it like designed?
And if you're so intolerant, if you're so intolerant, how are you able to do a podcast with me?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, wouldn't part of my grift like not being willing to like associate with you or with other people that like say bad things about my religion too? Like that would also be another thing.
Yeah, what are you grifting on? You know, really.
I mean,
it just sounds like you're talking to a bunch of intolerant people, intolerant of thought. You know?
I could argue I have lost so much fucking more money by like being Christian than I ever supposedly grifted off of people by saying that I support
You're not trying to start your own sect here. You're on a show that says horrible things about like edgy jokes and about everything.
I say unobtacle things a million times a day, and I've said some things like far worse.
I've said edgy things about Christians in front of you.
Yeah.
And you just took it as what it was, as a joke. I don't think I've ever attacked your Christianity like directly, but I make cracks.
About like Anton LaVey and like quoting him the other day, and I was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker! This is over."
The guy who wrote the Book of Satan.
Yeah,
I mean, really, you took that on the chin.
Christ is king. Christ is king.
Yeah, exactly. You want to talk a Christian grifter? Talk about the guy that's like Christ is king, and then like sniffing shit out of other people's asses, and he's like releasing revenge porn sex tapes, right?
Yeah,
But that was what was happening on Twitter, and so like we were fucking Augie was talking about Prag and the Prag debate yesterday, because that was like the whole subject of the entire stream. So I was asking like, come on, Aiden was on there already before I was on there with Augie, and they were talking about Prag. That was where the fucking that was where the conversation was going. Yeah. That was the title of the stream, right? I got on there, and Smaggle got on there too. We were both wanted to get on to talk more about the Prag stuff. Aiden, also Bunk got dragged in, because I guess Bunk wanted to get dragged in, and immediately Aiden and Bunk started going full tilt I think Augie also was asking about it, and Aiden and Bunk started going full tilt into like everything about, you know, the horrible.
They're trying to get their narrative out before he talks to you about it.
So of course I gotta. So of course I have to like, you know, explain my side of it, right? And you know, all throughout that too, I'm constantly getting like goaded into like, we can mute right now, and you can have a discussion right now about it and debate this person about it right now on the stream. Mute our mics will be like.
I would never like their bad faith, both of them. I mean, they proved
automatically. It's like it gets into like, well, we need another debate. We need to basically upstage Augie on his own show about like.
They're trying to get ahead of you. They're trying to, because Augie's got. Let's be honest. Augie's got the big show. It's gonna be 1,000 people in there, and now it's an issue.
Right.
Now it's just optical
and all on
at that
Twitter
point,
too.
yeah.
I should mention, like on Twitter, they were like making posts about like, I will moderate a debate between AC and Synth, and it's like, I don't.
Is it that important to you?
It's really.
I mean, I don't know you that long, but I know, like you don't come on Sundays and stuff like that, and I respect all that stuff too. But I don't see you as being. I see you as. I don't even see you as deeply religious. To be honest with you, you just. I don't get like I don't like. I guess they just didn't have another person that would says they're openly Christian and they need to take them down. Because Marxism actually teaches Christian intolerance. It's almost in the fucking in religious intolerance.
Well, yeah, I just
Christians.
see you as an Orthodox Christian who likes to meme on the internet, like, and you're pretty open about jokes. You let jokes, you let them
slide.
Yeah. So.
Well, regardless, they want a debate. They want blood, basically, right? They want.
I wouldn't give it.
The thing is, once you're a debate bro, like arguments become all of your content. That's that, and public arguments.
That's really is. And then now they're using. And then you got along with. You consider Aiden a friend?
I was fine with Aiden. I told Aiden even on that very call. I don't have a problem with Aiden.
Yeah.
I've defended Aiden, and that's the funniest thing too. I've defended Aiden.
But they need the content.
I guess I should regret defending him.
Aiden's on this debate arc, man. He's watching Destiny. He's all about the Twitch stuff, and he's just like, so anytime he hears like something that he disagrees with, he's gonna jump in and try to debate at any moment. Yeah, it's how his brain works right now.
Well, that's called like being 17, right? It's called being 17, and that's your outlet for being sort of edgy or like smart, right?
No, he wants to be seen as smart. All these guys,
I mean, like wanting to be seen as intellectual, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like you're either intellectual or like Augie, like as Prag said, Augie's anti-intellectual, right? So, I mean, that was unironically something Prag
said. You said anti-intellectual.
That was anti-intellectual. I know, right? Which is assuming like, oh, you're against. Wait, so if I'm against,
so he wants
you,
to. So all he wants to put
right?
anti-intellectual. So he's against Noam Chomsky. He's not allowed to talk. Is that what he's saying? Actually,
well,
I think they're anti-intellectual. I would dare to say by this conversation that a Bunk and Aiden are anti-intellectual because they make such fools out of as posing as intellectuals. Like they're anti-intellectual because it's just so ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous.
Yes. Well, they admit that they're not into like formal debates or anything, right? Yeah. And I like asked them about that. I'm like, this isn't a formal debate. This isn't like argument, counter argument, and then rebuttal on different points that we bring up or like talking. No. This is just like you just want to all like kind of dogpile.
Yeah, that's why I don't respect
it. Like you get 5 people on a call. They're throwing like a bunch of different things at you. They're like tagging in and being like, yeah, let's get this fucking guy. Hey, what about this part of the Bible? Hey, okay, so if you said that about the Bible, what about this and that? Okay, so if that relates, that actually technically wouldn't relate to this. It would technically relate to that. So what is your like opinion on this? And
maybe
it's like that for hours.
Here's the thing. I think we both agree on this. There's a lot. I'm going to be kind here, right? There's a lot of things about. I don't think. Can you even discuss Christianity in an objective, secular way when it comes to these types of things? A lot of these have to do with faith, and faith is not really provable. What's the point of debating it?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I can't really make you believe. It got to like some absurd points. I think this sin guy said like, oh, this Sunday I'm gonna get like fucked in the ass, right? And like I'm gonna go to hell. What are you gonna do to like save me or to like make sure I don't go to hell? And I'm like, I don't have to. Like, I'm not in charge of that at the end of the day. Like,
I'm glad you're not. You'd be
look, I can argue. I can tell you. I can give you advice. I can say that it's against. I can say that it's against like the Bible. I can say that you're putting your soul at risk or whatever. And if you don't believe that, if you don't listen to that, then what can I do? And they're like, no, but your own faith says that you have a responsibility to do this. Like, okay, what if I've exhausted everything that I can do then?
Yeah.
What if there is nothing else I can do and you still don't listen to me because you have free will and your free will allows you to make the wrong decision?
God gives you supposedly free will to begin with.
Well, I remember. Yeah, and I'm like, how do I even respond to that?
I worked with a guy with AT&T Worldnet. I played it. We were friendly on good terms. He was one of those reborn Christians. They're really annoying.
Born again.
So I was busting his fuck. He used to say crazy things. It was right after 9/11. He's black guy. Osama's gonna free us. We were like being edgy 20-year-olds and goofing on each other and what have you. Real smart guy, by the way. And then I did make a religious crack about him. And he says, well, I was like, I'm going to make you try to convert me, And it's like, he's like, no, I don't have to convert you. He's like, he said, he goes, if you make an honest attempt, then yes, I'm obligated. But considering I know that you're not making an honest attempt, then no, I don't have to bother. I'm not obligated. And I can't imagine you're obligated either. If you want to go strictly by the rules of whatever religion you have, I'm pretty sure that's not it because it's not sincere. Like, they only can do it sincere. And then I said to him, was that going to keep you from knocking on my fucking door on Sunday? So just leave my place out. And he says, I'll put a note in.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
The irony of it all is like, I'm thinking, I remember, and I can't remember if this was by like an archbishop or if it was by an actual saint, but there's this quote that basically described how like, the gist of it was, if I'm paraphrasing, is that you can't really hope to change anybody's mind or their heart with a debate. You can't do this endless discussion, this endless bickering, this endless argument that's never going to get through to anybody. The only way to truly like convert anybody is to live a good life, live a peaceful life with your faith, and people can see that and recognize that like that's part of your faith.
That's probably true because my stepmother, I admire her very much, and her Catholicism, which she tends to keep to her fucking self, which is nice. But her principles and her like sort of code of honor, for lack of a better word, is very admirable, and a lot of that is wrapped to do with the religion. So yeah, if I was going to convert, I'm never going to convert. But if I was going to convert, I'd probably convert through her.
Yeah.
Through
exactly.
her because she has an exemplary life. She's somebody I admire. She doesn't hold it over anybody's head. So that's I would go. I think that's probably pretty good advice. Here's another thing I always get: whether you're gay or you're a Marxist or anything, what the fuck do you care if AC thinks you're going to hell? There is no hell, remember?
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up. Why are you uptight about this?
You have to hold.
You're nervous about something?
Something you don't believe to a standard. You have to hold somebody who believes in something that you don't believe. To a standard that you believe that they should believe. Yeah. Even though you don't believe in the standard that you want to hold them to, but it's really all
it's funny. They're doing the newborn Christian knock on the door and trying to convince you shit. They're actually doing that more than you are,
I don't understand it. I mean, personally, I don't get it. I think a lot of people recognize that I was like being dogpiled on that call for like no reason when I wanted to just talk about Pratt.
Well, the guys are.
I wanted to just like talk about.
You're an adult. They're kids. I mean.
Exactly right. And I went in there and like one of the worst things. Probably the worst things for their own argument they said is like, you're not just free to like give your opinion and not debate it and not like defend it all the time on ABC. Yeah, they said they unironically said that, and I'm like, you're not. I told them you're not obligated to get a debate out of anybody. You should have
said Zig Heiley there.
Even if it is like some of the most batshit things that you've ever heard, there's no obligation. You can make fun of them and you can like rag on that, sure, but that's not what you're doing. You're coming here and you're challenging.
Not only are you not obligated. Let's say you were obligated, you did it, and you lost the debate. They haven't proved anything. They just want to debate. And then what are debates decided by? The court of public opinion. The biggest morons going. That we were just talking about before. So to me, if I'm assuming, Matt's not saying anything, that you're giving an accurate summary of what happened. They've just proved that they're intellectually intolerant. That's all.
It's whatever, man.
They kind of leaned into the stereotype that the leftists have an unhealthy hate towards religion. And you can't put me in the religious fucking, you're a religious wacko too.
I think at the end of the day, it's just them trying to get a W. They can't have
that too. But if they want to, that's the thing. There's a purity test on that fucking side, right? It like you can't be pure. You can't preach yourself if you're intolerant yourself. So if you're intolerant,
we can't have weightlifting contests anymore, right? We can't like show, these guys, they can't like go and get on, like go into a gym and then be like, how many plates can you stack, bro? How many plates can you stack? Let's see, let's go. Fucking 60 seconds. Who can do the most reps? What's up? So, and you get a rush from that sort of competition, right? So what did they have to replace it? Well, online debates. That rush, that like, the adrenaline or whatever, like fucking dopamine that they get that hits their brain and feels really good for like a battle of wits, good sir, or whatever.
It's bizarre. People are all just fucking nuts. It doesn't matter what the religion is, and politics is. I told that story. I'll tell it a fucking again. I made a crack as a kid about religion, about Catholicism at the table. Huge Ranger fan, and my father said to me, he goes, "You think you're better than me? You go to church. It's just in fucking. It's in New York. You just take your Jersey Transit. You make your pilgrimage to your church, Madison Square Garden, where you worship your Messiah, who happens to share the same French name as Messiah, Marc Messier." Mic drop, and I look like a fucking fool. I literally did one of those things. I was 17. Yeah, you got a religion too, and it actually goes into the philosophy of Anton LaVey that. I know you don't like this because it kind of lends some credence to secularism, but the religion, politics, and anything you do, people need ritual. I think he's right about that. And where your ritual is on Sunday, their ritual is on the internet, and so they're not above it. They're not above religious gatherings or the community that religion creates. Amber is crazy shit. The evidence was left in the. It's crazy shit. Thank you.
Bring us back down to earth.
Let's take some calls. Also, limited availability. After the show, I'm not showing it. There's going to be an event that goes up. This is going to be an event tonight. I am going to be viewing Dr. Sleep. If you want, this is not a guarantee, by the way. I just make sure. If you are a member, right, and you're in the server, and once the event goes up, you're able to join. I think I'm going to have 10 people in there, tops, maybe not even 10, and we'll be showing Dr. Sleep. If we have made some rule changes in the Discord when we're watching things like sports and having events. The conversation goes around the top, like what we're showing. There's no interrupting and saying, "Tommy, what do you think about Amber Heard?" But there's going to be limited availability. It's first come, first serve. If you leave, somebody may take your spot. So that's, and then after that, Matt will be having Jessica Pizzle.
9 o'clock Eastern.
For 9 o'clock Eastern.
Is Jessica Pizzle racist? I will ask the question.
Okay. That is Jessica Pizzle. So if you like Discord drama, that's the place. But I'm going to see, I haven't seen Dr. Sleep. I'm a big fan. My daughter's coming over tomorrow. She's going to watch The Shining the first time. So I got to get one up on her and see Dr. Sleep. I didn't even realize that was a sequel to Shining.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check that out tonight. I'll be playing it. The event is not up in the Discord. Join the Discord, become a member, make sure you're synced, and then you can join. First come, first serve, and you're locked out. We can take some calls.
By the way, just one more thing. Some commentary orbiter doxed their own mother.
Yeah.
Huh?
So this
the mom called the
commentary
cops
channel
on them, I
orbiter
guess, and they got
doxed
arrested.
their oon mother.
Huh?
I've been told. I sent it to you.
By accident, I guess?
No, on purpose.
That bitch! It's too funny. Let's see. Commentary orbiter gets... What? I guess it's one of Nick's tweets? Can I show
Yeah,
this?
well, it's a screenshot of...
Oh, that's crazy. I hate my mom. I hate my mom.
What the...
YouTube commentary orbiter. Is that her name, commentary orbiter, or this is?
No, he's just saying this is a YouTube commentary orbiter.
Yeah, it's Alfie.
Gets arrested and
Person
doxes
is
his
Alfie.
own mother in retaliation. Oh God, took a picture of the place too. Hater of rules that she got me taken out of my bed at 4:30 in the morning and arrested for calling her a cunt. You can't get arrested for that. As it was so-called malicious communication. What country is that?
I have no idea.
First of all, malicious communication should be unconstitutional.
There might be more to it than just him calling her.
Yeah. Malicious. That might be a reason to eject you from the house, but I don't think they arrest you for saying it. If they have, where does that look like? Is it Colorado? I don't fucking know.
No.
Why is it like there's red leaves? Oh no, it's probably an old picture. That's why. Because it's taken during the fall, clearly. And then malicious communication. Get a fucking grip. You get a grip. And so that's a picture of the house. And then do they put the address in there too?
That might be a picture. I think it's like
I think it's a banner of like a picture of a lakefront, and then the thing is, the emoji is over a picture of the mother. So this is like somebody's profile. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's considered a dox? I thought it was the
I think it probably has her first and last name.
Yeah. And then the emoji is literally face dox.
Oh no, okay, it's ripped. Oh my god.
This looks like it might be like a Facebook profile or something like that.
We have this person's videos. I'd love to see them.
I don't even know if they're are they a small do they make
they're an orbiter, but like what is that? Yeah. Are they
I don't know what they
wannabe.
Or they just
I get a lot of wannabes. I bet wonder if they follow me. Let's see. Unfunny Alfie. Hold on a second. It'll be funny. Unfunny. Hey.
Alfie isn't funny. I got it. No, I'm looking at they don't have. They have like 1,000 subs, but there's no videos on their channel.
Locked out.
Wait, cool people. Hold on. Okay, I'm looking at their YouTube thing. Alfie isn't funny.
That says everything to me right there.
No. We get this. Alfie isn't funny is it's youtube.com/c/Alfie makes videos, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he has a second channel, right? There's like one Fortnite video on there, right?
That's it.
Then he has a tab under that's called Cool People. Guess who's in the Cool People section of his profile on YouTube?
Augie.
Jay Contrary. Jay Contrary. Here you go. I
hold on. Watch this. Watch this. Your mom's kind of hot.
No.
Oh no.
Screw it. I can always refer back to this fucking video. I have no idea. Yeah, he left his stuff over there. Oh, that's so fucking funny.
Right.
I've never seen her mother. Oh, that's so funny.
You haven't seen her face because
I haven't seen her face. It's a joke. Oh god. Oh, well, don't leave.
Doing your mom.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, your mom.
Yeah, that's what I'll write back to him if he says anything. You're fucked up. And I'm just a big Ray William Johnson fan. You know.
All right, we got a filled queue. Let's start pulling people.
Let's start pulling people. I like these kind of open, more talk showy shows. I have to admit.
Yeah.
I know. See, I'm like, I probably shouldn't pull you in first because, well, I'm in love with you and I'm gonna leave my wife for you. What do you think? What do you think?
I think actually you kind of cheated me out of retards this one, because AC was the one who provided the retards, so
AC
you still kind of owe me.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
You said that you would, show me more retards.
That didn't really work out the way we thought it would. Yeah, I really thought, I was pretty sure. Yeah, it didn't work out. Well, AC, now you know where to go. Bunk is Based and Aiden Projects. So go follow them on Twitter today.
I think I'll just follow AC instead. I think he's doing a better job than you now.
Thanks.
He's better than you. Well, are you religious, Jew? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? You are? Yeah, you're a Jew.
Are you religious Jew?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Everybody I grew up with in New York, New Jersey, none of them went to temple. None of them.
Yeah,
but I do find European Jews a little more religious. Slightly more.
They're just fake kikes,
Do you go to temple every Saturday? Do you go to temple every Saturday? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, really? All right. Well, so you can kind of connect with AC's, story here. Right.
Yeah. That's why I
ain't got nothing in common with no Jew, Tommy. Better better believe that right fucking now.
Yeah, but I do notice the European Jews are a lot more religious than the Jews I grew up with. You know, I mean,
we're just better.
Probably. Like they did a poll of, I think Ben Shapiro did a poll, and it's like, why are you Jewish? And they said it was the overwhelming answer is because why do you recognize yourself as a Jew? And it was like the answer was to remember the Holocaust. That's got nothing to do with the fucking Holocaust. There's secular Jews that said that, yeah, because the American Jews are really not that religious unless you go to like Hasidic areas and stuff like that in New York. They're not religious people. You know, they're not. It's weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Jews don't preach either. I wish they would be more content. You know.
Well, I can do it next time we talk if you want.
No, because I don't think you're that. You know, you got to be wacky like a Christian preacher, or like a, you know, Muslims don't preach either. They just demand.
No, they just. No, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta watch what you say there. Huh?
Go talk to an imam. Oh, and you want Jews preaching? Okay, go look at the Black Israelites, right?
Yeah.
You can see them on the corner in New York like every day.
Yeah, well,
they just scream about white people. I've heard them in New York, the Black Israelites. Like if you come out of like Penn Station, they're just there screaming, and everybody just walks by them. Yeah, they're around. And then they just recently, I always thought they were just big mouth idiots. But I was in New Jersey last year. They shot up some fucking Jewish bakery or some shit like that. I think I remember hearing
grocery
that.
Store or something.
It's a grocery store or something, yeah. It's crazy.
Wait, they shot it up? They should have used the ovens. What the hell?
Shut up. Now we're gonna get in trouble.
Okay. Oh, now we're gonna get. Okay. This chick comes on here and drops a hard K slur, right? Okay. I think it was over.
Well, she can say that. I don't say that word. I never say.
No, I have the K pass. I have the K pass.
The K word pass.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good speaking to you. I guess we're gonna start playing Apex. You mentioned that. We'll start playing Apex.
Yes.
Have you tried it yourself yet?
Yeah, I've played a couple matches, but I'm kind of dog shit.
Yeah, don't worry about aim. You got to think and wear down. You got to think in terms of wearing down shields, not so much like headshots and stuff. Once you get the H1Z1 COD thing out of your head, it's about movement and using your cover. So
don't worry, babe. I'll teach you how to play this game.
Yeah, baby. I don't think.
Yeah, babe. I'm right behind you. Yeah, here. I'll help you hold the joystick.
Shut up. Shut up. My wife is here.
Oh, now you're in trouble.
All right, let's take some calls. Thank you, sweetheart. Danish Princess, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Dude, you're screwing it up. I'm trying to. Let's see what Agmar's got. Agamar, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I can't complain, but I still do.
How's Repsion?
How's Reps?
Pretty good. I actually had a question for you, Tommy, because the last time you spoke, you said I had a problem with you. So I thought, and I found something.
Well, what did you find?
So I wanted to ask you, do you think there is a difference between the online left and the actual left?
What that has to do with me? Yeah, probably. Sure. Yeah. I'm sure, well, everything. I think you'd say that about the right, too. Yeah. Definitely, for sure.
The only reason I was asking, and this has to do with LGBT stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely like a disconnect between like the online LGBT and like the actual LGBT.
I'm sure there is too. I would, yeah, because everybody I don't know how many like friends of mine that think that when they hear this kind of stuff, they're like, first they're in denial, and then you show it to them, they're like, I can't believe that shit. Yeah, so yeah, I could buy that. So.
Yeah, and the only reason I say that is because my obviously I'm not going to say the organization, but my girlfriend actually works for like an organization, and they deal with a lot of like homeless teens. They get like kicked out and stuff.
Sure.
And
it's called NAMBLA. No.
No. It starts with an N, so that was actually a pretty good guess. But
I don't think it's as good as a guess as you think, Agmar.
It's very similar, but yeah, I figured I'd at least ask that.
So.
I gotta be honest. I think you'd say that about anybody. My issue with the left is they're more ingrained into our mainstream institutions. It's not uncommon to hear somebody like AOC, who has a pretty important job, use white men as a pejorative. And that's usually a good sign that somebody's a pretty big bigot. Let me do it the other way. Well, that's what the blacks do. That sounds awful coming out of my mouth, right? It sounds like your crazy fucking racist uncle. This is stuff that's being repeated in Washington circles on television. Joy. That's why it concerns me more than the right. It's not socially acceptable to say something like, well, that's just what black men behave like. It is socially acceptable to say it in Washington, which is frightening, and it is socially acceptable to say on certain cable news networks. So that's why I pretty much concentrate on the left, and I'm not as upset by
the left definitely is the bigger platform, and it's just weird because it's like, I talk to my girlfriend about this all the time. Because I'm kind of like traditional Democrat. Mm-hmm. I'm obviously in the LGBT stuff.
You're racist, right?
Sure. Yeah, good one. But like, I'm not like kooky, and it's weird for her to have like a disconnect for an entirely, different sector or group, I guess, where she's like, yeah, you can tell these people are kind of grifting, don't actually care.
No. Well, they're grifting. They don't actually care, and there's the other aspect of it that I think is less about money and attention, and online attention. It's what Andy Signore, I always talk about. It's the likes. It's the confirmation of. It's what fucking I think Bunk and Aiden does to more of an extent, lesser extent with Bunk. What was doing with thing. They're looking for some kind of affirmation, and it's like kids their age. It's something they'll grow out of. I don't understand why 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds do it.
Yeah, no.
I find that concerning.
I mean, obviously, like me and AC disagree on
Bunk and Aiden are making mistakes and fools of themselves because it's representative of their age, of the time, of this. Really, social media is still kind of new, even though it's 15 years old at this point. We don't know the damage it's going to do until those kids are about 30, 35. So I think it's a little more understandable. What I don't understand is like the disinformation girl. What was her name? The one that Biden said his truth board up or whatever the fuck it was called.
Oh yeah,
I find people like that frightening as hell.
Yeah, that's some scary shit.
In fact, I don't even mind throwing at the N-word with people like that, as in Nazi. I think it's appropriately. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, something else I want to touch on because I said it relatively sure. Like me and AC, when it comes to homosexuality and stuff, obviously because I'm LGBT, I disagree with everything. Sure. But I think the way that Aiden, good one. The way that Aiden and Bunk went about it would not be how I would go about it. Sure. There's a mature way to have the conversation, and then there's just like a virtue signaling gay way. And again,
if you have a real problem with his views, and you're entitled to have a problem with his views, like he's entitled to think it's immoral to be a homosexual.
Exactly.
He's entitled. Like if you have that, like what do you care? He thinks you're going to hell. To me, as an atheist, that's fucking funny.
Exactly.
Burden.
And that's why we're on the same wavelength because obviously my background.
Here's another thing too. If you're looking in the wrong places, if you want like a ironclad argument from somebody who's like good and experienced at debating and good and experienced with theology in general, and I like these guys, they will unironically say like I'm a grifter and I'm like presenting myself as an authority on everything.
Yeah,
I have like constantly told people after these long discussions on like religion and on different like pieces of like the doctrine and whatnot, I've said, well, look, this is what I understand. And at the very end, I'll say, if you really have any questions about this, you should read what like actual saints and priests have written. You should talk to a priest in real life. You should talk to somebody who's an actual legitimate representative. Like, I understand that the laity is supposed to have some sort of idea about a lot of this stuff, right? But at the same time, this is not our occupation. This is our faith, right? This is our faith, and we can understand. We can come to the conclusion that some things are true without knowing every single thing about how to back them up. In the same way that you can look at scientific facts, or you can understand science as it is right now, and you can know that things are the way that they are, but you don't necessarily know how to explain every single study or
gravity. I don't know how to explain that shit. That's a good example. I don't know how to explain any of that shit. I fucking sure as fuck know it works.
The sky's fucking blue, isn't it?
You know?
I mean, I couldn't tell you every different. I mean, I guess
sure.
like nitrogen, oxygen, and shit up there is like causing it to be blue, and the way the light like diffracts through the air or something is how it works, right? But like, you know, if I tried to argue that with one of these guys, it'd be like, you can't cite a study, you don't have a source for that, and you cannot like actually like
do you have
that
to
it's the way that it
do
is.
you have like can you when it comes to things like science, can you have a secular conversation and leave Jesus out of it? I mean, that's like,
well, and
you know, like the religion I come from is Catholicism. They're not fundamentalists. They don't take the Bible literally. I don't want to speak for AC,
I was
so
Catholic
you can
too.
you can have a secular conversation and not blow it with God. You know, the way I understand things. But the idea that they're pigeonholing you and you have to sort of, it's like a weird straw man. Like you have to sort of defend it in a manner that I need the way I interpret your religion is just like a kind of just like a bizarro straw man to me. You know, I mean, I think you just got to debate the individual if that's the case. You know?
I mean, if I say, if I throw out a hot take, right? If I throw a hot take, if I say all these people, there's like more like pedophiles and like, you know, with these kinds of people or this other kinds of people. Yeah, I get that it's a hot take. I get that you can. Like,
I don't believe that,
like,
by the way. I disagree with that completely.
Yeah, and
I disagree with that.
You can like ask me to get facts, citations, and stuff, right? And that's like it's entirely fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like at the same time, you know, that is just like it can just be discounted as a stupid opinion. You don't necessarily need to prove it categorically. Like, oh well, you know, factually, here are the numbers to disprove that. You can just say it's a stupid opinion and move on. You know,
exactly.
and
well, you say it's a stupid opinion because you can't back it up and move on.
Move on.
Yeah.
You know, like I can like not be well versed in a subject, right? Or somebody else can not be well versed in a subject. We can have stupid takes, right?
Sure.
And you know, I can just say, well, that's personally.
Well, that goes back to what I said before, AC. Let's say I think that's. I don't know if you believe that or not, or you're using an example. I think that's. I don't think that's correct. I can't really back it up that it's not correct, but I don't think it's correct. But at the same time, like, I just I lost my train of thought. Oh, fucking just leave it at that. I totally lost.
Yeah, you're right. By the way, Tommy, I searched that up immediately last night, and I found a study that contradicts that point.
But here's the thing: is like if Tommy doesn't know, if he can't cite that, he can't back up that it's not correct. Am I like entitled to like go like in on him like all of a sudden because it's like, well, you don't know, you don't have any studies that you cited there to say that it's not correct, Tommy. So you know, what are you saying here? Huh? You got no proof or whatsoever.
It's not like you're doing a college paper.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like
what was it? I was watching like a Destiny video, and it was one of the guys yesterday. That's how I remembered what that guy was. That synth guy.
Yeah.
Because he's in those like debate discords, and that's all they do all day.
Yeah,
they don't like have normal conversations about stuff like that.
I'm sure they're well-adjusted people that have lots of friends. Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm
sure. Infuriating. All right, let me get you. Good call, Agmore. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not.
Can't believe his girlfriend is in like a organization similar to NAMBLA.
If you're gonna pull in Jack Johnson, let me know. I'm gonna give him the guest role instead.
Let's try that now. Give him the guest role.
Okay, Jack Johnson, go inside. Don't pull him in. Jack Johnson, go in.
Well, it takes a second for him to hear it.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. All right.
There you go.
Jack's on the air. Jack, unmute yourself, you rocket scientist.
Jack Jansen.
Jack
Jackson.
Jack off.
Jack, unmute. Fucking
Unmute,
Jack off.
I swear to God.
Sorry about that.
What you got?
Oh, what's up?
You tell me.
On the subject of the fucking call between Aiden and AC. I mean, everyone had their opinion, and you have to respect Aiden's opinion and your opinion. But dragging you into a debate doesn't seem fair to me. Even if there
seems kind of self-serving, to be honest with you.
I'll give them this. I made the mistake of joining that call and entertaining this to like any extent, and they were right that I should have just like left the call. But you know what? At the same time, what happens if I leave the call? Oh, AC ran from this debate. AC ran from this debate. We're not going to let him go.
That means you're right.
See what they want to have it. They want to have their cake and eat it too on every single.
It's a personal own and their own biases.
with that kind of debate world, they always look for a win more than a conversation to talk about. Nothing against Aiden or
yeah, because two 17-year-old kids have figured out the world and they understand this stuff. Give me a fucking break, man.
And here's the thing too. I think personally, I think that they're upset that they didn't record the first debate. I think they're really upset that they didn't record that discussion in the call, because I keep like telling them like, well, that's that's a shame, but nobody recorded it and it wasn't being streamed anywhere. So who fucking cares, right? And that's a big difference too between them talking to me about that and me wanting to talk about Prag and Augie. The Prag and Augie thing was fucking like it was a televised, it was a stream sort of debate.
Sorry, we're.
I know. Alfie.
Okay. Yeah.
He may not be funny, but at least he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Tommy, on the subject of movies, you're right about it. Right now, movies of superheroes, they're all trash, except for one, the God level movie Morbius, which has 200% of Rotten Tomato and made 300 trillion.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think there's a market for that. I don't think there's anything wrong with the movies, but I tend to agree with.
You don't know what Morbius is.
I agree with Scorsese. They feel like, and they're fun. They feel like thrill rides. They don't feel like cinema. I watched. I watched Christine, about Christine Chubbuck. That felt like cinema to me. And I don't get that feeling. Whereas when in the 90s, you would get it once a year, 2000 every couple years. Half a decade can go by before you see a decent movie. They don't even make comedies anymore. The last good comedy was fucking the Hangover. They made 20 of them. You know?
Yeah.
And that Hangover's going on 15 years now too. So yeah, I don't see cinema very often. I'll throw the fan in there with that fat fuck, woke fuck now, whatever his wife died a couple of years ago. I forget. I forget his name. I don't know.
Patton Oswalt.
I know you're
Patton Oswalt. Yeah, he did a good movie called The Fan. It was pretty good.
I know the kind of movie you're looking for, like the kind that delves into a subject with good writing and good cinematography.
Everybody's been poisoned too. My wife, I've said this several times, is much smarter than I am, better educated than I am, and just quicker around all in general. Just things she can do, and then she comes in, she goes, "I'm sorry, this is really boring." I was like, "What? Because it's not Harry Potter? Because everything is fantasy in this house. It's it's fantasy from Star Wars. That's my fault. And Harry Potter, and I think and the video games and stuff like this. Like, don't you want to watch a movie about an adult with an adult situation? Didn't you at one time in your early 30s feel like this woman that like your relationships weren't happening but your career was okay? And don't you connect with that? And I think that's what these movies do. Is it's just like it takes you so far away from. And then it's escapism. I don't have a problem with escapism, but I don't always want escapism.
Yeah.
I want a story. I want something about the human condition. Christine Chubbuck's story is about the human condition. To me, she's not just a woman that blew her brains out on television. There's a person there, and this was an interpretation of that person, which is a lot deeper than a girl that just shot herself on TV. And you don't get that anywhere.
Yeah.
You want something that resonates with you.
Yes. And I tell you something. This isn't everybody's going to go boomer, boomer, boomer. I like Goodfellas. I like Taxi Driver. I mean, when I was a young man, I craved this type of stuff. And it was few and far between back then. But at least you got something. Even like when the fantasy of a movie like Pulp Fiction, which is was just total fantasy. It really harkens back to these pulp fiction books that you find in an airport and you just read it just to pass the fucking time. And they were little bizarrely sexual or just strange, like true crime novels and stuff like that. That's what it was supposed to represent. And it still kind of had something to say about the human condition.
You know what I was watching the other day?
Yeah.
I was watching Brando, A Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah, I haven't
seen
seen
fucking
that yet.
movie.
I heard it's a great
Classic
movie.
fucking movie.
Yeah, it's really good movie.
was watching fucking Rain Man the other day.
I hate that. I think they ruined that movie for me. I used to think that was a good movie. Now I think it's totally retarded.
It's a good movie, but also like Tom Cruise, his character is a complete fucking asshole. Like,
I'll tell you something. Cruise did a bad job with that movie. It's a bad movie, and I'll tell you why. I didn't really. It took me 30 years to figure it out. It's a bad movie. He goes in with his hot car, right? I'm totally stealing this from Cumtown, but they're 100% correct.
Yeah.
He goes in with his hot car, and there's all these kind of retarded people out, and he's like, Tom Cruise is like, what's going on here? What's with all the fucking retards? Why did my dad leave this guy money? Well, maybe he's related to you. I don't know. I can't figure it out. What's my dad's obsession with me? Hey, who's this retard in my car? Could it be? Oh, he said he's been here before. Maybe he's my brother.
Hey, yo,
maybe he's relative.
Get out of the car.
Yeah, I mean, like what's happening here? And it's really bad acting. Tom Cruise ain't that good. It's really just terrible. Fucking, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a ridiculous fucking movie. He's like the dumbest guy on earth. Like, what are you doing, retard?
Let me tell you, it's better than a fucking Marvel movie. I'll take it over.
I'll take it. If you want, really, you can see Dustin Hoffman like kick it out of the park because he's one of the greatest actors that ever lived.
Yeah, Hoffman's great.
Yeah,
right?
Hoffman's fantastic. He did a fantastic job.
A lot of that back then. The draw was the actor itself, the actor himself.
No, he had two draws. Cruise was a red fucking hot at the time, and he was doing something with one of the most respected actors on a. It's something, a topic like autism was kind of new back then. Like nobody understood it, and they understand it a little better now. But it's it was
even in the movie when they were going cross country, they were like going to these doctors, and the doctors didn't really know how to do it because they were like small town fucking docs that were like, oh well, I haven't really like treated a lot of cases like this at all before. So,
yeah. And also, I think with Tom Cruise being an asshole, it wasn't just an asshole. That scene is ridiculous that he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, when he first goes,
and
to
he's like,
hospital,
Rain Man. Oh, this must.
Rain Man used to come and sing to me.
Oh, wow! Like he's just the biggest retard on. I don't know who's more retarded. You know,
whatever. You sure you're not supposed to be in here, Mister?
It's like the Sixth Sense. He realizes he was the retard all along.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm totally stealing it from Cometown, but
I was really just I was throwing this out because it is more of like an actual like experience, a movie about something real than fucking like, just like superhero movie number 340. And it's all like there's more draw to the actors, there's more draw to the real cinematography and actual like parts of the filmmaking fucking process, not just let's get all these guys in front of a green screen pretending to fight and pretending to shoot lasers back and forth.
Look, I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming out. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I want to be entertained in that type of way, but it's just all I'm getting. It's all I'm getting. I love Star Wars.
It's like candy for every fucking meal. Dessert for every meal.
It's like I think here's my dad's theory. They're trying to talk you being an adult so you fucking have your hand out to the state. You can't adult, you can't do everything. Everything goes fucking wrong. So you got your fucking hand out. So we're getting inundated with fucking cartoons and comic books.
Like 100%.
Nobody's
like.
And
I've said this
when they see a movie like fucking Christine, and there was a big to do about that. They're exploiting suicide. How could they say the mental illness crowd that likes to fucking shame everybody on Twitter? Yeah. Here's a real movie about a real woman with a real problem, suffering from it. It's an honest, compassionate take. They're exploiting suicide. You can't even make a fucking movie like that because you got these jackasses on Twitter. If they see any adult situation at all whatsoever, they're just apt to get offended. I mean, it's comic book like Iron Man doesn't offend anybody. He's not fucking real.
I've said this before. People in their 20s now, people in like their mid to late 20s are now they're like they're fucking teenagers. They're like fucking 16-year-olds still mentally.
My father thinks it's on purpose. They want you to be a child forever.
Yeah. Well, and like the media is not helping, of course. The fucking.
Why do you think they hate Jordan Peterson so much? The whole idea is to get you to adult. I mean, that's the idea.
I fucking hate that. That's like such a millennial saying. Like, I'm tired of adulting today.
Yeah.
Like, God,
really?
What are you talking about?
Really? That's what I tell. That's what I tell my kids. You know, I should be taking care of you right now, but I'm gonna get some hookers and some coke. I'm tired of this adult stuff. I want to go back to when I was like 22.
I woke up today. I was in a bad mood. I was in a sour mood. I woke up and
I mean, there is a point to like let go, and I mean that's what the show is about. I mean, you really don't have to do too much adulting, and that's the whole point. Right. You know, I mean, people call me a man-child. I'll never get offended because that's what we're doing here. You know, it's just there's a time, but you know, the rest of your time shouldn't be like that. 100%. It shouldn't be. It probably takes up too much of my life, but you know I can always excuse it because I'm looking for content for the show.
At the very least, you can say people are listening to this type of stuff while they're like at work, passing the time on their fucking lunch break, and they're actually out like working. You know, they're still getting shit done.
Yeah.
Even if they like a little flavor text for the
I remember
day,
when people used to call in Stern and they did something that Stern sort of suggested out of a joke, and like Stern was like, "What are you, an idiot? You did that at work?" Like, what are you, a moron? Like, it's not a philosophy. It's a joke, you know? It's just something I would like to say. I can say that because I have a microphone in front of me, and you know, this big corporation's paying me to be here to make you laugh. Like, you can't see outside of that. It's really something else. All right, Jack, thanks for the call.
Thanks, Jack. We're not going to watch Morbius, by the way.
Let's see what Creed. Yeah. Creed, what's up?
Oh, wait. No, he's Android. I got to give him guests.
He's Android?
Oh, you just like smoke a whole pack, Matt?
I lost my voice.
You know what? I want to test something.
There you go.
Creed, what's up?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to talk about like the AC and like Aiden stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, but last one. Go ahead. I'm tired of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, dude, like if you really are like passionate about like debating and thing, it's kind of like goes against the purpose of like ambushing someone with a debate. It's kind of slimy.
How about we rebel against this debating horse shit and just like
I'm 100%.
Let's debate the debaters.
You don't have to debate them. Just fucking look at them. Look at these guys trying to
just make fun of them.
No, like look at these guys trying to make out like they're smart. Like that's funny. You're supposed to have fun on the internet. Start saying they're part of the problem. Start saying like do what the lefties do. You're part of the problem. The internet sucks because of you. It's no fucking fun anymore.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you know what?
Like, I see these guys. Boy, you know, Destiny leaves room for jokes and fucking light moments.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is pretty funny.
He is kind of funny.
You know, he's a little sanctimonious, but I mean, he's a pretty funny guy. Like, at least there's some room, and at least you know what you're getting into. But it just seems so forced from these younger guys. And look, I get that to a certain extent. Like, I understand admiring somebody like Destiny. Destiny is, you know, he's made himself very rich. Through his, and the people have ripped him off. Destiny's a real innovator, and I think he deserves a lot of credit.
Oh, God,
but I mean, like, you know, he's a bit sanctimonious. He's a bit of an elitist. I mean, I don't know if that's somebody you want to emulate. And the same thing would go for me. I don't think you'd want to fucking emulate like Tommy C. So
that's kind of the problem. You know? Like, it's just every person just sees like this formula or a hero they like, and they try so bad to copy this person.
I do too, but it's like I feel like I could turn the switch on and off. These guys are like 24/7. Like when I came on to D-Shot from the Point, the idea is kind of an homage to Howard Stern. Mm-hmm. You know, but I don't live the philosophy, so to speak. And I don't get that part. I'm sorry it's called short, but I want to get because we're gonna do a movie.
Oh, sure, go ahead. All right, thank you.
If you're a member, there's gonna be limited spots, and it's just gonna be announced in the event. It's gonna be I'll pop it in there for everybody. But we are doing a showing of Dr. Sleep. Sometimes you play Apex. Sometimes you play Apex. Sometimes you manage people. It's called managing your time. Imagine that. Yeah. I first.
Tommy, you want to pull up that image I just sent you because I feel like that sums up how like I feel or how most people feel towards the debaters.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, I'll put it on screen. Hold on a second.
Yeah, just like zoom in. It's I respect your opinion, but I disagree with it. Let me explain why. You see, blow it out your ass.
There's some truth in that. There's some truth.
Like that's how all debates should go.
Yeah, you know, when I'm approached for like I would say a friendly debate, I wouldn't even call it goes far to but from other. You know, the Germans will, like, you know, they're kind of a lefty, but they'll ask you, well, why do Americans feel this way? And why did they do this? And why did they do that? And they let you answer. And they're always surprised to hear what I fucking say because they've never actually heard a conservative point of view or a libertarian point of view or even probably know what a libertarian is. But I gotta, especially the Germans, when they ask you, go figure. They expect an answer, and they're not necessarily offended by it, unless you say something like the hard K, or something like that. That would probably be all right. This guy's nuts, but that's fair. Duke Nukem, perfect. You know.
Yeah, Duke.
Yeah, and Duke being like both sides, like the left and the right. I think there is something to that. Although there are wacky left-wing Europeans over here. There's plenty of them, but for some reason, the United States has surpassed the wacky left-wing Europeans. They used to be whack. When I came here, I thought the left was wackier over here. Now, by far, the Americans have everybody beat, with number 2 being in England. They think it's okay to shout people down like brown shirts. Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to, well, here's another thing you could say. They may have to be a little more polite because they have shit fucking baked into their laws that is completely backwards. What?
Can we pull in Smaggle?
What the hell does he want? What do you want, Smaggle? Smaggle, you're on the air.
What's up, Weetard?
What do you got?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
Have you not seen The Lighthouse, Tommy?
The Lighthouse?
Oh, that movie is okay.
No, I haven't seen it yet. Right. That's on my list, though. You're right.
It's a good movie.
I think it's a decent movie, but it's overrated. It's definitely overrated. A24 films are.
See, and here's the thing. I'm familiar with the actual story, and then when I'm familiar with the actual story, I nitpick it. And even though they take the actual story and they come up with their own fantasy about what happened to those guys, because nobody knows what happened to those guys. Nobody. So it's like the artist's interpretation of what happened over there. It's like watching a military movie and I'm looking at their rank to see if it's on right. It makes me crazy if there's not.
There's some pretty gay moments in The Lighthouse too.
Really? Is that why they kill each other over gay? Really? Went that route?
I mean, it wasn't like full blown gay sex, but it was obviously really fucking gay.
You know what? I'm not going to see it now. It's too much. No, it's just too much. I'm sick of.
I thought you.
I'm sick of like gay stuff, man. It's just not fun for me.
No. It's like one or two scenes.
Is it no? But is it overt or
it's not like the crux of the entire thing?
If it's suggested or it's up to your imagination, then I'll see it. If it's overt, I don't. I mean, everything's fucking gay now. I don't want to see it. You ruined it for me.
Tommy sees like the fucking one quartering meme where it's like you made it sexual.
No, I just don't want. I'm personally tired of gay undertones. Just as far as part of a theme of a plot, I'm just not interested.
It's not like a huge theme or anything. It's literally like a couple of scenes, and you see it, and you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" You're like,
I don't want to see
wait a second, this is kind of sussy.
Well, is it over the top? Like I just found out that there's a very good chance
they're not like kissing.
There's a very I would say ruin the movie for it because it's also up to your imagination. Like there's a very good chance that The Shining was about the sexual molestation of Danny.
Oh God!
And there's a few. Yes, there is, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but it's saw 2-3 YouTubers videos on it, and I think the evidence is insurmountable after I've seen this. But if I'd have known that going in, it would probably ruin the movie for you. But the way Kubrick does it, it's so subtle that I can stand it. Then I can stand the. If you really think about it, The Shining is kind of an indictment on white men in a lot of ways. You have every victims group in there. You have the child, the women, the black man,
you should write
the American
Jezebel.
Indians, stuff like that. So but it's not. I wouldn't say The Shining was woke. I think it's an interesting, take on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I don't trust the Lighthouse to be able to do that. I'm just tired of it.
The thing that gets me is like it's supposed to sort of be a creepy sort of horror like psychological movie, and like the entire time it's like I'm not really scared by anything, and I'm not like necessarily creeped out. I am wondering what the hell is going to happen next, but at the same time, it's I was like okay, it's decent, like it's well made for sure.
Yeah.
But
Defoe's in it, so it's got to be good. I mean, he's awesome. I know Defoe's in it.
Yeah. Defoe's good, and Robert Pattinson does a good job too. The guy from fucking Twilight, Edward from Twilight, actually somehow did a good job. So.
Oh, actually, I was told when he was doing Twilight that there was a joke that he's actually a really good actor.
It's like a soul sucking experience for him. Like he's like just pretending to be like horrible.
Yeah, I heard
he's such a good actor.
That's the new Batman, right? You're talking about the new Batman, right?
Yeah, he's in the new Batman.
Same guy. Yeah, I heard he's pretty good. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, I've heard he's good too. Same way like Daniel Radcliffe was like breaking out into other roles.
First of all, I knew Daniel Radcliffe was good when he did My Boy Jack for the BBC. He's an exceptional actor. He played a World War II veteran or officer, and it was amazing. So Daniel Radcliffe is. I wonder if Daniel Radcliffe will sort of become eventually what Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to be. I think you're going to start seeing, Academy Awards thrown his direction. I don't think they can contain his talent much longer. Not literally contain it, but I don't think they contain him. I think he's that damn good. All right, movie chat. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Snaggle.
This show's gone on way too long. Oh, 2 hours? Wow. All right.
Really?
Nice.
Is it 2? Yeah.
Based?
No, yeah, 2 hours. Sorry, I couldn't get it.
Rapid
All right,
fire?
here's the way it's going to work. Here's the way it's going to work. I'm going to put if you're part of now's the time to do it. All right. If you want to watch Dr. Sleep with me, if you want to watch Dr. Sleep with me, your shit's got to be synced. If you're not in there by the time the link goes up, right? I think I'm only going to make 9 spots. All right. If you're not in there, that's it. If you leave, you're fucked. If you go out, you're fucked. If your internet goes out, you're fucked. All right, because that's the only fair way to do it. But I will be making a spot in there. You'll get the notification. I'll add everyone and just get in there as quick as you can. I'm making 9 spots just in case some of the mods want to come in and watch it for whatever.
The mods can come in no matter what.
They can come in. They won't. Yeah, they won't lock in. I don't want to lock everybody out.
No donut of the day.
Are we doing donut of the day? We got one.
Well, we haven't done donut of the day.
We got to catch up like tomorrow.
We got to do catch up or something like that.
Yeah,
some pretty good donuts.
To be honest with you, I kind of thought you scrapped it.
I didn't scrap it. I just forgot. It's that simple. I get my things and I scrapped it. Well, good conversation today. Grown up shots on the point. Tomorrow we're making fun of a kid that made a bad commentary video. See you Thursday.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping 5's black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.
Why are you gay?
There's nothing wrong with being gay.
You are gay.